Go. He's ruining it, but I'm going to take that as a go because he is major spamming. And this is going to take us to our first semi-final match between Sykes and TerrOr, TBT on Triathlon.
Oh yeah. And at the 12 o'clock position as the teal Terran, we have O Sykes, aka Marwin.
And the 4 o'clock position, we have TerrOr as the white Terran.
Oh man.
That's
okay. At least you didn't say it was Protoss this time. We're getting there, one step at a time.
Yep, this is why you're getting loads of practice in before the ESL in 2 weeks' time. Just making sure you iron out all the little oddities like at the beginning.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Actually, the main natural and mineral only positions here looks a lot like Gold Rush.
Kind of, yeah. The middle is completely different though.
Oh, it's not mineral only, sorry. There's a gas there.
Now, I actually played a best of 5 against Mikami the other day, and I did lose in the end, but I lost this map because I forgot there was actually a gas in that middle base, and I would have had like so much gas early on if I'd have realized. That was really silly.
Wait, you took the expansion and didn't know there was a gas there?
No, I didn't take the expansion because I forgot there was gas there. That was why. And I was the one that picked all these maps, so I should know them.
Yep.
It's all good though. It's all good. Everything is perfectly fine.
I mean, you lost the best of 5 to Mikami. I wouldn't say everything's perfectly fine, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I have got like a 65% win rate against him overall, so it's fine. I'll just win the next
Fine, he's got his coffee.
Oh man.
There's fire around him, but he's a dog, so he's fine.
Okay, so TerrOr is going up to 12 SCVs before he builds anything else. Looks like he is actually going to go... Is he going to go for a 14cc at this extra base? Yes, he is! 14cc in the in-base natural. Going to be very hard to deal with that, but if you click on the geyser, you'll see that it is... Wait.
Right, they're both doing the same build here.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this is a really good map. Now, the funny thing is...
Oh my god, you can't click on the gas geyser at 12 here.
You can't...
He's given up.
You can
He's actually given up on it though.
Yeah, he's given up on it. He wanted to do it, but he couldn't. It's definitely possible. You just need to get your SCV in the right place. He had the right idea though.
That SCV was like, no, I didn't want to go through the eggs here. I was totally just scouting the back for proxy racks. You know, I definitely meant to go and build this at the natural the whole time. Yeah, it wasn't a fail click, guys. It wasn't. 100%.
Yeah, interestingly, TerrOr is going to have trouble if Sykes goes for any kind of Wraith play, because there is actually, I believe, 9 neutral eggs in between the bases, and they are cloaked by that Arbiter, so it takes Goliaths a million years to get through. Now, both of them with the 14cc, of course TerrOr's is a lot earlier, but as you can see on his vision, and also just on the vision of the map, there is only 2,000 gas in the in-base base, so he's going to be at a gas disadvantage a little bit later.
You know, for someone who keeps saying he only wants to play on Floating Spirit, TerrOr is actually playing this map, like, you know, he's taking advantage of the map features, which I find kind of interesting. Like maybe it's like a bit of psychological warfare. He's pretending like, oh no, I don't know the maps, I'm not gonna play good strats, but he actually does. He's gonna lose his SCB though, which is not good.
Yeah, it's the ultimate mind games, isn't it? It's like if you pretend you don't know anything, no one will believe that you actually do. Like TerrOr, just in case people don't know, TerrOr is one of the Zotac Cup South American qualifier winners, so he will be traveling to California to the Newegg Studios for the Zotac Cup $20,000 tournament in December. So TerrOr is nothing to be scoffed at. The other qualifier was in fact Dandy, the other Peruvian Terran, and those two actually have a very good shot to actually take the whole thing.
I think Marvin's got sneaky SCV out here, ready to sneak in and scout again.
Ooh, he's hiding. Oh man, what is that? That's like some kind of like Stargate Atlantis kind of totem or something, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the Watchtower from StarCraft 2.
Oh my god, please.
What is StarCraft 2? But there we go. TerrOr is in fact the one going for the 2-port Wraith here. What is Marwin doing back in his base? He is also going 2-port... No, wait, that's a supply depot. That really confused me. But 1-port Wraith against 2-port again. Wait, that was outplayed before, but either way, Sykes definitely has the build order's advantage here. Not only was his second CC later, he's going to have to contend with 2 ports worth of Wraith production.
First Vulture coming in though, and gonna see the bunker and promptly turn around. The SV was positioning just in case he tried for the run by. But yeah, this it's gonna be a little bit interesting here. It's kind of, I guess it makes sense considering TerrOr took the base that's blocked off by the neutral eggs, so going for a 2-port just to make sure that that stays safe. As you said earlier, you know, if Sykes had gone for 2-port and TerrOr didn't, that could cause some problems for him.
Yeah, now interestingly enough, I think they're both... Now, either Sykes is going to go for a dropship. No, he is actually going Cloak himself. So he's going 1-port Cloaked Wraith. But the difference is, TerrOr, as you can see in his main, is building an academy already. TerrOr knows what he's doing in TBT. Like, his TBT is pretty damn good. And, yeah, he's going to be perfectly safe. But it doesn't look to me like Marwin has any detection whatsoever at any of his bases.
And it looks like he's going to throw a 3rd CC in the back here as well.
I mean, this isn't a bad choice. He will get the extra gas, but he really does need an academy soon. He doesn't have an... I mean, he doesn't need the armory so much as he is going Cloak Wraiths. But
wait, Sykes landed a barracks in the island and is building Marines, Kicks. Look at that. He's building Marines
cool.
there.
Oh, here come the Wraiths. The Marine isn't going to do anything.
Okay, he's got an academy coming, which, if those Wraiths are delayed by that barracks, should be maybe in time.
Yeah, that should just about be in time now. TerrOr is very cleverly repairing his Wraith that got damaged by the Marine as well. So, TerrOr showing that he is really good at TBT. Wow, okay, so Sykes is actually going for an engineering bay now. Scouting the fact there is 2 Wraiths at this time does point to a 2-port Wraith. So he's going to need at least 1 or 2 turrets to defend himself against the cloak while he waits for his scanners.
Oh man, I love the barracks land actually.
TerrOr's doing it as well.
Yeah, well he kind of had to, right? Because otherwise the Wraiths would do too much damage. I don't know why he's planning to build a Marine there. It's not going to do anything remotely useful. And he does cancel it and lift off now. So he's going to lose that barracks. But really Sykes' barracks, I think, bought him so much time against the 2-port. For some reason, I don't see... Wait, did TerrOr just stop production? He only made 2 Wraiths.
He sent the other 2 down to his natural. And they're hanging out next to the starports now.
Oh, okay.
And there's 1 more in the natural.
Thing is, unlike in TVZ where you want to keep adding Wraiths, there's actually not much point in going into too many Wraiths when you're going 2-port off of an expansion. As long as you have enough to defend your second base, which he does, then there's no real reason to keep building them. He still does have the Wraith advantage against Sykes, who is now going up to 3-port Wraith. 3-port Wraith from Sykes now. Going all in with that, he will have the extra gas base. Of course, it is pretty much like a 1/3 of the gas, but still.
I believe this is huge. TerrOr is getting +1 on his tanks here to, was it 2-shot another tank or something?
Yeah,
that's a +2 attack. Yes. Sykes actually scanned TerrOr's natural to see that the command center wasn't there. So, you know, he knew at the moment it would be 2 base for first 2 base, and the 3rd bases are going to be pretty close in timing. Actually, TerrOr is going to get his slightly faster, but here come the Cloak Wraiths. 5 Cloak Wraiths from Sykes. Turrets are not quite complete yet. He's actually going to bypass the back base entirely. He might be looking for some Wraiths to snipe here. He reveals that he's there. Double scan. Scans from both players. It's 5 against 5, but it looks like TerrOr got the first volley, so Sykes is going to back up.
Yeah, TerrOr does have the advantage not only because of the first volley, but also because Sykes cloaked his Wraiths in his main, so his Wraiths are all out of energy now. That wasn't a very good move. I think he was just trying to get in undetected, but look at TerrOr's turret ring already. TerrOr is perfectly prepared against this. He of course has played this map before last week, so I know Marwin, I think, has played this map before as well. I mean, both of them seem to know how to play it at least. Now TerrOr going up to his 3rd base, he will have the extra gas mining for a while, as his natural gas will last a little bit longer, and both of them just adding on a lot of factories, although saying that, there is still only 2 factories for Sykes.
Yeah,
Marwin
four
has been
factors.
pumping Wraiths out of his starport the whole time here. So he's
Yeah.
actually up to like 8 Wraiths now.
It's going to allow him to be aggressive, but look at this. Terra has already got ready with the Goliaths. 3 Goliaths already out. They will have +1 soon. And Wraiths are very much like paper planes. Now, one thing he can do is he can actually take down the turrets using the tanks, and then drop into Terra's main here. I'm not sure if he's going to, but Sykes does. Yeah, Sykes does need to be very careful. He doesn't have the tank advantage.
Oh
Ooh,
man,
he's going
looks
for the
like
hard
we're
contain.
gonna start setting up the contain here, as you said, Kicks. But there is this left exit that that Terra is starting to clear out. He's killed the Arbiter there. Interestingly, Sykes canceling. Looks like he built his turret a little bit too far forward. He's also killed Terra's engineering bay. But it looks like we're gonna have a breakout. There is actually a Valkyrie with the army. Can he actually do this? The raid is coming in first. There is the scan. They cannot engage against the Goliath. No upgrades yet finished for either player, but with only 3 tanks here, I think Terra can actually do it. Remember, he had a 4-2 factory advantage, and he's rolling out here, breaking the contain.
He also has +1 attack, and Sykes doesn't have a single upgrade yet. Turret not being cancelled either, going back to macro at his base. Lost nearly all of his wraiths too. So any advantage that Sykes did actually have is now completely dwindled.
Marwin only has a massive fleet of Wraiths, although half of them are chilling at his natural.
Yeah, looks like he's going to join together. Now, if he can hit at a time before the Goliaths and the turrets are set up, he may be able to break this this position in the middle. But one thing to note, I'm going to zoom out on my stream a bit. If you hold this middle, you don't actually get that much ground. There's no real reason to hold this. Late game, of course, you can push up and try and split the map horizontally, which is the ultimate split you do want. But for now, Marwin doesn't really need to worry about this.
The bad thing for Marwin is he invested in 3-port Wraith, and he hasn't really been able to harass at all. Like, just with 5 turrets, Terra's pretty much stopped all harass, and Wraiths are not a unit that you engage head-on with, right? As you said, Kicks, they're basically paper planes. The Goliaths will completely eviscerate them in a straight fight. So what you really need to do is abuse the speed and the flexibility to, you know, harass and backstab your opponent's expansions, and Sykes has been unable to do that. So I don't really see these Wraiths paying off at all.
You know, weirdly enough, Terra knows that his opponent is going for so many wraiths, not opting to even get a third machine shop at the moment, just opting to build turrets, build a lot of Goliaths as well, maybe looking to try and break. But Marwin is going to take this this 4th base.
Terra actually is also making Valkyries. He's got 4 Valkyries on the field, and that is going to destroy those Cloak Wraiths as well, and is also going to provide a nice response. By the way, I just noticed the supply difference is over 50 right now. Terra has a massive supply lead.
Yeah, Terra has so many factories right now. He's up to 6 fact at the moment. He does have his 2 ports as well. Looks like he is going to start going into dropships a little bit later on. But I'm not sure Marwin is going to be able to hold on to this. Look at this move by Terra. He's going around the left side, and he is going to come in to the point of this siege line.
This is exactly how you want to engage. You want to engage perpendicular to it, so that the amount of shots you take as you come in are limited, and the Valkyries going in, the Wraiths going in, the tanks going in, 2 more siege tanks sieging on the top side, but with the attack move Terran, I think Terra is going to clear this out. This 4 Cloak Wraiths still on the field, but they're not going to do anything against this, and Marwin's losing his entire army. You actually know there's 4 more Wraiths on the bottom side, but another scan, another Wraith is going to get picked off, and now this inside expansion is going to have to lift off here.
And Marwin has started building dropships, but he has no army to use them.
Yeah, he's got 3 factories going for tanks, but once again, he's not in a position where he can really abuse dropships. He can maybe try and go in for Terra's in-base natural, but look at Terra's defense. Terra knows he's ahead. The only way Sykes is going to come back in this game is by either turtling or going for some big drops. It looks like Terra's finally going to take this bottom left 4th base, and he has this amazing position set up in the middle.
Yes, indeed he does. Looks like Marwin actually sending his barracks down here to just check on this pseudo island in between them, but he is kind of stuck right now, although maybe with some dropships he can try and do something sneaky. Maybe he can just lead with the Wraiths and just run in to this top expansion of Terror. But the thing is, if you don't have enough units and you commit too many units to the drop, like imagine if Sykes loads up all 4 of his tanks right now, TerrOr could actually just counter, walk into his natural, and kill him straight away. So yeah, a bit dangerous there.
Marwin's actually going to take the right side expansion, maybe ferry some tanks over there. Pretty good move. It does give you this position to sort of siege down these turrets, but he does need this extra gas. As Mikami said in your chat, the trouble is, with going rates off of 3 ports on just 2.5 gas, which you do have on this map, you don't have enough factories to really stay alive on the ground. And look at this scan! TerrOr with the perfect scan, all the rates actually going down to the Valkyries.
Oh my god, so much splash damage. The dropships actually get through, but they're running into the turret fire. They unload their tanks. 4 tanks do make it into the main base of TerrOr, picking off those turrets. Reinforcements coming back. Look at the minimap. Everything going back with an instant GG from Sykes.
Yeah, TerrOr showing his dominance there. His mechanics in TVT are so much better. Like, TerrOr has improved so much over the past few months I've been watching his games as well. I don't know how much he's been practicing, but you can really see why he's always been regarded as one of the best players in Peru.
One of the best foreigner players in general, I think.
Indeed he is. So we are going to go into Dante's Peak as the second map. Now this has got some really cool map features for TVT as well, with the like high ground pods, which is kind of cool.
High ground pods indeed. Oh man, you can draw crazy siege lines here, can't you, Kix? Oh no.
Indeed.
This is the hour-long TVT map.
Triathlon should have been a lot longer than that. My game with Mikami lasted like 50 minutes, it was crazy.
They did have pretty close positions though.
They did, but it is a 3-player map, so you pretty much have close positions either way.
Alright. Spawning here at the top left position on Dante's Peak, we have Sykes, aka Marwin.
And in the bottom left, not the Protoss, but the Terran in purple. It's TerrOr.
We did it! We got the positions!
The weird thing is, the positions here are actually going to favour whoever goes tanks later, I believe, because the thing is, you really want to get Vulture map superior map presence on this. If you can lay mines in the vertical gap between your 2 bases, you'll be in a very good position moving forward, and it's going to be very easy for both players to take a lot of bases, so this could go very long.
Yeah, so you basically have 4 gas bases per expansion. If you compare that to Fighting Spirit has 3, not 4 gas bases per expansion, per spawn location is what I meant to say. So basically there's 4 I guess 3 additional bases considering there's the middle expansion on Fighting Spirit. So overall in resources, yeah, as you say, there's a lot more on this map. And thanks to these kind of like ridges, the 4 ridges in the middle, you can put pretty nice tank lines on these. It's not quite as many ridges as like Sniper Ridge, but there's still some ridges here.
I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen any proxy barracks shenanigans in any of the Terran versus Terrans so far.
Thing is, proxy barracks is incredibly risky, and it's so easy to hold. You can hold you can hold an 8 racks or a BBS with 14cc. You have to be very, very, very lucky in some cases, depending on which way they're scouting, but it's not worth doing on a 4-player map. Maybe in a 2-player map. If it goes to alternative, proxy racks on alternative is pretty good. There are so many proxy locations there.
Speaking of 14cc, is that what TerrOr's doing right now? There's still no barracks coming out.
Very possibly. I mean, TerrOr went 14cc last game as well. It's very easy to pull off, like, you'd be surprised. One of the reasons why I won 1 ranks expand on ladder, and it looks like he will go for the... Wait, is he going to go for the barracks first? No, 14cc on the high ground. I'm not sure why he would do this. Maybe he doesn't want this to be scouted by Sykes right away. Sykes is going for a more standard 1 ranks expand, but this will actually reduce the benefit that TerrOr is going to gain, because he will have those extra 5 or 10 seconds of floating his command center. So not the best thing he can do.
Yeah, I guess he just does. Maybe he is scared of the proxy racks, as Cadenza was saying. It's so funny though, because see, Cadenza has been traumatized by getting 8 racks bunker rush as Zerg, and unfortunately, you know, drones are not nearly as strong as SCVs. Whereas in TVT, it's just like, all right, you made some Marines, I'll just kill them with SCVs. It's no big deal. It's just, oh man,
Now,
the difference in impression there.
Interestingly enough as well, TerrOr has got his gas first, despite going for 14cc. This shouldn't work this way. Syke should have been able to get his gas a little bit earlier. Looks like he maybe missed a little bit of a trick there with his minerals. His minerals are really high all of a sudden. He will be saving up for his factory, of course, but yeah, bit of a mistake there by him.
Strangely, TerrOr waits until now to send out his first SCV scout, so I don't know if he's just prepared for every kind of opening with this 14cc build or what.
Well, the thing is, you don't really need to scout in TBT. Like, the only thing you need to know is if they've got a factory, or if they've got a bunker at the front. If they've got the bunker at the front, you don't need to actually build your own bunker. But if you know they've gone for a fact expand, you'll be able to tell by the late command center, and all of that you can see around 20 supply. So that, ooh, looks like Sykes actually did scout the 14cc, sees the bunker from TerrOr, and does in fact build his own bunker, so cancels his one.
The naturals start mining at almost exactly the same time due to the travel distance for the command center floating down from the main base. So yeah, as I think you mentioned earlier, Kix, I don't think he's got any advantage from this 14cc. It's actually the gas advantage that he has here, and we'll see what he does with it. Looks like 2 factories being made here for Sykes at the top left. I still don't see what's being done here for TerrOr. He's got quite a bit of gas banked. Is he going to get a starport or just a second factory?
I think he might be adding his second and third factories around the same time. 2-port race 3 games in a row is incredibly difficult to pull off.
Oh, Marwin is going to catch the SCV scout with his 3 Marines here and completely deny scouting.
Yeah, this is actually really good moving by Marwin. Although, I think the SCV is going to see at least that there are SCVs mining. No! Oh, he does. At the very end of his vision, he sees an SCV mining on that last mineral. So that was very unfortunate. But then we do see the second and third factory coming up. Marwin as well going for his third factory, but he will have the vulture advantage moving forward as his factories will be done a little bit quicker.
It's going to be pretty close though, so no kind of game-changing advantage. I mean, you can see 35 to 35 supply. These players really keeping pace with each other. And yeah, we could be in for a long TVT here. Let's see how the Vulture battle goes between these players. It can be a little bit swingy, especially because since Vultures are so fast, and obviously they can match each other's speed, if you start falling behind in Vultures and you try and run away, you can take a lot of damage while retreating due to the moving shot. So anyone who even loses an engagement by a little bit ends up taking a lot of casualties, which can make the engagements really swingy, I think.
Yeah, here's where Marwin is going to start falling behind. TerrOr is already adding his 4th factory, and in a Vulture versus Vulture fight, you can lose by not having enough factories. So is Marwin going to add his 4th and 5th really quickly, or is he going to go for a starport here? Looks like he may be adding another factory. Although he did spend some minerals.
His barracks did actually see the 4 fact, so as you say, he knows he should be keeping pace, but he's going to get 1 Vulture for free here. TerrOr was leaving it on the middle ground ridge between the 2 main bases, and it does get sniped off by 8 of these Vultures. I only see 3 Vultures actually out for TerrOr. Marwin seems to have a huge Vulture advantage right now.
Yeah, the reason behind this is TerrOr actually used all his minerals to add up to 5 factories now. And the thing is, he may be behind at the moment, but if Sykes does not go in with his Vultures now, he isn't going to lose all advantage he did have. And of course, TerrOr does have this bunker to help him defend.
Interestingly, the bunker was empty this whole time that he's had this Vulture advantage, and he hasn't moved in. I'm not sure why, because he saw the Marines come out and attack his barracks in the main of TerrOr.
Yeah, now Marwin is having the same problem I have sometimes in TVT, where he didn't quite see that he had an advantage. He is trying to spread his mines out, but he needs to build more of them in a line, as I said before, vertically between the 2 bases. Because right now all he's doing is really scouting Vultures, which is fine, but the second tanks start moving across, Scan will clear these very quickly.
Yes, indeed they will. Although he still has to be careful though, because he will be moving up from low ground to high ground, so there will be the mischance for the clears, and he could potentially walk into some lines and take a bit of damage. Looks like Barracks from TerrOr is also going to fall, by the way, whereas Sykes has kept his alive just on the edge of TerrOr's main. So, you know, a small victory there for him, and he's just, as you say, laying mines all over the place, but not wanting to commit to the attack. TerrOr now moving out, though. Can Sykes catch these Vultures? Sykes has a huge Vulture advantage, so he could potentially just pick a lot of these off. TerrOr actually only going for a handful of Vultures before switching into the more common tank Goliath, or rather the later game composition, I suppose.
Yeah, now this is a bit of a mistake from TerrOr. TerrOr needs to... One of the things that's so important in TBT, and what Flash says as well, is you can only really switch to tank Goliath when you're both going Vulture when you have the Vulture advantage. Because while Goliaths are really good against Vultures, with enough Vultures you can push through them. The one thing is he will have the tanks, obviously. He's only pumping one factory tank at the moment. And if he gets enough tanks, it's going to be very hard for Marwin to do anything. Looks like Marwin may be moving into his own tanks as well, and he will actually deny this possible third base. Although that wasn't...
One other thing is TerrOr has got the armory jump on his opponent again, so he will have +1 sooner.
Oh.
Yeah, the very, very common opening for getting the armory is around about 6 minutes, because even though they may not be going wraiths, you still need the armory for the Goliaths just in case. It's the same reason you get your second gas around 6 minutes as well at your natural, even in Vulture versus Vulture.
It's pretty cool to me. But it looks like this is Vulture supported by 3 Sea Shanks though, moving out here, and we could see a big engagement. The tanks and Goliaths will be really important in these fights. Looks like 2 Sea Shanks for Sykes as well. He's just sieging up on the high ground ridge, holding the midpoint between the bases, not using that to his advantage yet, not taking another base just yet, although I think he has an SCV getting ready, and there you go. Third base. Whoop.
It was a big mine. It could have killed so many Vultures, but it just got killed.
Nice. Very even supply right now still.
Oh, and he's running through the middle. He might just completely avoid this army and go straight for his base here.
Now, Marwin is actually making a weird choice here. He should actually just go for the counter-attack. He could kill all of TerrOr's SCVs right now if he knows what's going on.
He does back up though, so it will be even again, stalemate.
And we're going to have our first skirmish, major skirmish in the middle of the map. A lot of Vultures, but they are pulling back. They are only Vultures, not supported by any of the beefier units like the Goliaths and the Siege Tanks. And he is going to pull back there. The mines in the middle are being cleared quite easily. As you said, Kicks a single scan, just taking all of those down. And now this position on the left is just not really useful because their army is just moving through the middle of the map. It's only a few more mines, but obviously TerrOr can move around if he wants to.
Yeah, now this position on the left, it may not look important, but it's probably the most important position that Sykes could have ever taken. It secures in this 9 o'clock base, which he should take as soon as he possibly can, and mine as much gas as he can, and then look to expand towards the top right. One thing in TBT, you want to really be getting your third CC about 6 minutes 30. Admittedly, whether it was going for so many Vultures, it's hard to expand. But they do need to expand a bit more. One thing that TerrOr could have done a bit better in the previous game as well is on Triathlon, at that point in the game, he should have developed 5 base. Here we go, we do see another skirmish going on, and there are significantly more bases here for TerrOr, more tanks even.
Oh man, rolling through the first siege tank here. Sykes trying to hold the line here. He's gone for the unsiege. Is he going for the counter as you suggested, Kicks? It looks like he is. He's moving down the left side here. Armies passing by each other. He runs in. Look at the minimap. The army from TerrOr is running back, but that allowed Sykes to get in a really weird position. He's actually cutting off the reinforcements from coming back here. He's in siege range of that bridge, although he's a little bit too far to the left, so the army can kind of sneak down. And there's so many units from TerrOr that it looks like Sykes might just lose his first army here.
Yeah. Sykes needed to reposition his tanks. He tried to actually sit at the horizontal line he had, so this didn't work out at all. Can he take down as many tanks as he needs to? No, he cannot. It is 1-0 for both players now, so the upgrade advantage didn't last too long. But I think Sykes may have seen tanks too long.
Marwin, the third advantage, should have pulled back and played defensively, but his offensive play here is going to backfire on him and allow TerrOr to do exactly what he wanted to do and win with this one army.
Yeah, TerrOr doesn't even need to push here. All he needs to do is take control of this this high ground. But once again, Sykes with the poor positioning on his tanks. If he'd have just secured that sort of middle area, he would have been fine. But where he built way too many Goliaths, he's actually going to get pushed through here, and I think he may die.
Oh man, the last siege tanks are falling. TerrOr's going for the kill. Vulture's running in. Are they gonna lay mines? They're gonna lay mines directly on top of the siege tanks. Can TerrOr pick them off? No, one of the mines does trigger, but the tanks are still alive. But now the mineral line is under siege. I don't know if TerrOr even knows about this third base because it's completely undefended. Two Vultures are gonna go see it now, gonna pick off all those SCVs. As Cadenza was saying, this third base was giving Sykes the economic advantage. He just had to hold it. TerrOr still doesn't have his third base, but he is going for the kill. He is killing so many SCVs. Sykes sacrificing the SCVs to regain control of his natural, but he's losing everything at the third.
He is. Sykes is in such a horrible position right now. He's trying to break back out, but look at the position TerrOr has. He's even got this weird doodad thing blocking it in, and he is not going to be able to push back out. Look at how Sykes is always sieging his tanks. He's not sieging correctly. That's the biggest problem he's had. He's never sieging in a line in the correct direction for some reason, but he does have a Wraith. Can he bait the... Oh my god, there's no anti-air now. The Goliath is dead. Does he realize? Yes, he does.
All you need is one Wraith and a chair, and turn versus turn.
Wraith in a chair. He got a tank! The pew pew actually worked! The pew pew lasers doing 6 damage a shot. These Wraiths actually are doing the same damage as a Marine right now, an unstimmed Marine.
Yeah, he's forced a complete unsiege, so he's going to be able to take the position back on the map. He of course does not have the third base, but he can reclaim this, and what he needs to do is, while TerrOr is on the retreat, he needs to move and take this left position again.
Dude, TerrOr's got 1 million SCVs and just now getting a third command center, going to lift that over to the middle base. He's also building 2 starports kicks in his main base, going for Wraiths of his own. Meanwhile, mines from Sykes that were planted quite early on, actually blocking the potential expansion. So showing Sykes that there isn't another base yet on the map. So that's probably why he feels like he's not out of the game yet. He can still recover. He's landed his third command center again. It's retaking this position.
You know,
He actually tried to build a command center on that mine, and then he brought his army over to kill the mine, but he didn't do it. And then the SCV is now building the command center on the high ground.
Yeah, now look at this. Where Marwin didn't take advantage of the fact that TerrOr was pushed too far back, he's now lost control of this high ground again, and that is going to allow TerrOr access to this very vital 4th gas.
Oh man, this crucial position you were talking about, Kicks, that they've been fighting over for a while here. Now TerrOr has it. He's got a huge supply lead, a 50 supply lead in the game. He's finally transferring SPs. He's got like a weird SCV circle there below the gas with that pathing. He's also going to take the 6 o'clock base, at the same time, and is not only going to have the army advantage, but the economic advantage as well.
Yeah, so TerrOr has done a really good job pushing forward, securing his bases. And I mean, Marwin is still in a good position, but look at his siege line. It's like he's playing TVP.
TerrOr is just unsieging and running in now. And he might have enough to break here.
Yeah, he's actually on 1-1 against 1-0 now. 1-1 doesn't affect tank battles too much, it's more the Vultures. And at this point, Marwin's losing all of his tanks again, and I think this may just be too much for TerrOr. GG!
GG! TerrOr with the 2-0 victory, taking out Sykes here in the semi-final, right? And we'll move on to the finals.
No.
If